Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another round of RTG Mondays. We are here in sunny Australia, and I cannot wait to get going this week and see what we have in store. It looks like it's going to be a sunny qualifying, which is a nice start. And yeah, looks like we have 19 drivers on the grid, so not a bad turnout, only one missing, which we will take, absolutely. Always good to see, the more drivers the better. Always makes life a little bit interesting. But there we go. I will start off by saying as well, King who normally runs this channel has asked me to pass on his apology for not getting the highlights from last week up and ready. I told him it's fine, we all have lives. It is not an issue, but rest assured, if you are tuned into this channel, we will be getting the highlights up very shortly. So stay tuned, get subscribed to the channel, and you will be notified the minute it gets uploaded, which will be very soon. And I, for one, can't wait to see it. Love watching the highlights back. It's great watching it live, absolutely brilliant. But to watch it back with highlights, just cherry pick the best moments. Always a great watch. Because everyone's going out on their laps now. We don't need we will get to that, and we can see who is out there. Who's going to be first across the line? It's not going to be him. It will be Danny, I reckon. Danny was first out on track in the AlphaTauri. Obviously, the Australia circuit, a little bit revised from previous years, with that very long straight in the middle sector now. They got rid of that 90-degree right kink, which is always a bit of a picky corner, bit of an odd one to get right, and definitely interrupted the flow of that sector. Now it flows very quickly, and it's a long straight really, and it's a very good overtaking opportunity, especially those running lower wings. Gives a big advantage. You need high wings in a lot of these sectors. So down we go with Danny. Let's ride on board with him, shall we? For a lap of Australia across the start finish straight we go, and then pick your braking point into turn one. Try and cut the right hander as much as you can. Don't run too wide, otherwise you'll invalidate a spin on the curb on the left hand side. Run it all the way to the right and then down. Keep the speed going through here on the brakes as hard as you can. And this corner's really re-profiled. It's opened up a bit so you can take a bit more speed and then tuck it back through to the left hander and then keep it absolutely flat to the right into that right hander, and then this is a very tricky corner now to get right. Opened up in recent years, so it is a lot quicker, and it carries all the speed onto this long straight now. It does wind to the right and then back to the left, but it is just a straight. It is easily flat in any wing configuration. And then we've got this ever tricky chicane left and right. Don't run too much curb on there, but you want to keep as much speed as you can go, because that's the second little bit of a straight, and that will be a Diarasto as well, and then hard onto the brakes. Again, another reprofiled corner on this is getting very awkward one. Quick flick, drop down a gear to the right hand side, into the second to last corner, get it all slowed down now, and very easy to lose it on traction. Doesn't give tyres a second. I think he's on a qualo trying down possibly. That could be why, but up across the line Danny goes, and that is gonna set us off for this qualifying session. We have a couple of drivers. I think that's Aki now crossing the line. What's he going to set? It's going to be a 19.2. And who else? Phil as well goes in. And I think, oh, there we go. I was just about to drop down to him. Lee Craig, 18.3. Smashing out of the park. 5 tenths clear of Danny so far. We have a Haas of truck just gone onto a flying lap by the looks of it. Who else have we got? Paul Jones has invalidated as well. We've also had Looney Man do a lap. And he goes up into P4. Royal Rumble slots it into P5 now. We've got an Alpine now on a lap behind him. There's Golden Wolf also gone into P9 with quite a commendable lap, given the fact that he's got no front wing on that McLaren. That is an interesting strategy from him. Not sure it'll pay off. Might maybe get him quicker down the straights, but I think the trade-off is he's going to be quite slow in the last sector. But anyway, along we go. RTG Chuckle. He'll be one to watch out for, and then straight to the top of the tyres, 4 tenths clear of anyone else. That is a cracking lap from the Haas driver. Great to see. Danny in the pits. Who else? Anyone else on a lap? I think Royal Rumble's on a lap. Prof is on a lap. Is he actually on a lap, possibly? No, he is not. Is Bugatti on a lap? We'll have to keep... I know he's invalidated. I've only just noticed. There's a few people. Chuck is on a lap though. He's about to cross the line. What's he going to set? Going to put him straight up into P4, an 18.4. So not a bad lap from him. We've also got AJ. Looks like he's going to be on a lap. Pippo, no, is coming in the pits. Paul is now on another flying lap. I think AJ just ahead of him, so these two pretty much in tandem. You can see Paul in the background there. He may get a very, very distant tow. I think he's a little bit far back really for the game physics to work. In real life he might get a bit of a tow, but I don't think the game physics work that far back. As AJ gets the kart thrown in through that high-speed chicane. Very, very difficult set of corners to get right, and you can gain and lose so much time as well through there, just running right up to the edge of the grass. Is the Mercedes braking into the right-hander. That's a nice line. And then into this final sector, it's getting it all slowed down. You're right on the edge of your seat. The adrenaline's running from the lap that you've just put in, and it's so easy to get it wrong in that last sort of couple of corners, and that is straight up to P2, an 18.2 from Mercedes. Paul's validating come in the pit, so double failed attempt from Paul in the opening rounds. He is struggling. Looney Man has gone purple apparently in the first sector. I never quite know with this game. Credit where credit's due though. He's using the Lando Norris helmet, which looks amazing in the Aston Martin, I have to say. Lando Norris to Aston Martin in a couple of years. Who knows? Anyway, I think it would look good. Looking at that, that yellow goes so well. It's the Aston Martin racing colours, isn't it? Really. Across the line, he does improve. Doesn't improve much in terms of position, but it gets him up into P6, an 18.7. That's a good lap from the Aston Martin driver. Who else have we got? We've got a few people on out laps. Nobody on a lap as of yet. They're all on out laps at the moment. If you are in the chat, do feel free to put down and get involved. Have your say. If you have a driver that you're following with or you are mates with, by all means let me know, and I will try and follow them a little bit as much as well. There is a Ferrari gone off in sector 3 by the looks of it, but straight back on track, so maybe just ran a bit wide or had a little moment. DRL Mike in that Red Bull. DRS wide open. Hasn't set a lap time as of yet, but plenty of time still to go in this session. He will have an Alfa Romeo for company up ahead, which hopefully should move out his way fairly soon. Let's be a game of chuckle for me, please. Go on, chuckle. Absolutely. As soon as he is out the pits, I think he will definitely be one to watch on a lap. He's currently sat in the pits, but sitting on provisional pole at the moment. And look at this, DRL Mike is getting a lovely slipstream from this Alfa Romeo. Not sure that's quite, it's a different team, but maybe they're friends with each other, maybe they're helping each other out. Who knows? As whoa, where is he going there? That is he just has a grid penalty for hitting Paul. He's obviously trying to go round Paul. That's why he went on the grass. There must have been some sort of minor contact there. Was that just him that got it, or was it Paul as well? There's that typical race director thing. What actually happened? We're just checking. Yeah, it's just a grid penalty for DRL Mike, but I'm sure that's going to be in the steward's room, because that's going to be an interesting one. Who do I think will get pole, Matthew? Oof. I mean, it's hard to look past Chuckle at the moment, isn't it? Let's be honest. He is, he's the man to beat at the moment. He is the man on fire. He had a bit of a disastrous showing in Imola, but he definitely had the pace had he not made the mistakes, and obviously his strategy got screwed over a bit with the safety car, but he's certainly one of the quicker ones, and he's sitting up there in provisional pole. I think it'd be a brave man to bet against him, but my one to watch today, AJ and Lee Craig, already in P2 and P3, Lee Craig especially, in the preceding 5 lap races that a few of us do just for a bit of practice. He was very, very quick, was old Lee. Also liked to bump me off the track a bit, but we won't go there. But Paul goes purple in sector 2, so he's managing to string a lap together finally. There's a Mercedes up ahead. I don't think it's going to worry him too unduly unless it slows down a lot. They're obviously prepping for their lap. Gets the car over. Through the last corner he goes, on the power as early as he can. DRS wide open, up to the line. What's this going to be from Paul? Straight up to P2. Look how close that is. 17.971. Wow. Wow. But we're going to go back with Chuckle as Prodigy. No, we're not Prodigy. A 17.916. What a lap from him. That's fantastic. Paul is looking quick. Yes, he certainly was, and that was a great lap considering he invalidated 2 failed attempts from the first run. He just needed a banker on the board. That is actually a very, very quick time indeed. So he could be one to watch as well. As we see Chuckle a 10th up, and whether he can gain any more time in sector 3. This is looking pretty good from the Haas driver. He is absolutely on fire, as I say, recently. His pace is electric. Scar flicked in, really on the edge, up to the curb. He's using all of the track he can, carrying as much speed through those corners as he can, on the power as early as he can. And what's this going to be? I'm sure this is going to be improvement. It certainly is. A 17.666. Wow. 3/10 clear of anyone else. And what a lap that was. AJ now slots into P3. And look at that. 3 drivers all in the 17.9s. It was 4 when Chuckle had his lap in the .9s as well. That is incredibly close. Incredibly close. Watch Aki. No, he's on a slow one. Is Looney Man on a lap? That's brilliant, yeah. That was a great lap, that was. And shout out to Expert Gamer 84 in the chat for wanting to ride with Chuckle. That was a very, very good shout, and we just witnessed a pole position lap potentially. Certainly provisional part at the moment. Looney Man jumps ahead of his teammate in 7th, and Prof is going to be frustrated with that, I'm sure. His teammate jumps up ahead. These two always very, very close on track. There's never any separating them. We've got anyone else potentially on a lap and at AJ's on a cool down. Phil, maybe? No, he's on an out lap. Giro Mike could be again on a lap. Still hasn't said a lap. Had that contact with Paul earlier, which has now resulted in a grid penalty. So wherever he goes, he's going down. In 2 weeks to go into the new game. Yes, absolutely. What's your thoughts now? Because we've, as we see DRL, Mike, wow. First lap he actually gets on the board up into P2, a 17.7. That's fantastic from the Red Bull. And it's Red Bull 2 and 3. Looking pretty formidable to get some good constructors points this evening. But yeah, we'll watch Phil on the lap now. Yeah, not long until the new game. I'm excited. I don't know about you. Are you excited for it, man? What's your thoughts now that we've had a few early releases given to a few content creators? We've all had a bit of a chance. Whoa! What has happened there? Oh my goodness. Prof has spun round. The game did not ghost him. Phil, on a flying lap, has gone straight into the side of him. Probably got damage, and Prof has a penalty for it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Two grid penalties in the qualifying session. No words. No words. The game should be ghosting. The game should absolutely be ghosting at that point, and that's nobody's fault. Prof's obviously just dropped it on cold tyres. Phil is on a flying lap, so fair enough, but the game should be ghosting it in that case with ghosting on. Okay, ghosting off, then Phil needs to slow down and move out the way, but you know, with ghosting on, it needs to be. He's on a lap. That's fair enough. Matthew, well excited. I think it's shown good things in early previews I've seen, but updates could mess it all up. Absolutely. I mean, look, you know, take for example the brake bias. situation. We had a couple of games ago, didn't we? Cycles ago with the brake bias, where they put it more realistic that you had to use 56, 57%. And then an update came along and you just got rid of it. You just put 50% and away you went. So, yeah, you know, and needless to mention the big update that came on this game that absolutely wrecked it. I think we can all agree on that. It looks good. It worries me. Me and Chucker were having this conversation the other day with the new game. It does worry me because it looks just that bit too easy to drive. The traction just looks piece of cake on the whole. You know, catching the slides of the car just looks easy. So, you know, it may just be a bit too easy to drive. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's still challenging, and maybe that might help. You know, it just means you can push that little extra hard. You can really drive it on the limit a little bit more. Make for some more exciting racing, or alternatively, it just might mean, you know, you're not punished for making mistakes. You're not. So those drivers who are really consistent, those drivers who aren't, it can. I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know. The thing I am concerned about is there seems to be a massive OP on the starts with a controller. That seems to have been picked up already, which makes me think there's going to be massively OP on traction, which it has been a little bit. You know, it's easy to get much better traction on a controller. Hard to use a controller, that's the problem, and that's why they've done it. But fair enough. Prodigy's validated. Chuckle about to go on another lap as well, so we are starting to get to the sharp end of this grid. I think the brake bias is a well good thing in the new game, because whilst traction is easy, locking up is also easy. So still errors to make for people like me and you. Absolutely. I mean, you know, the fact that you just keep the brake bias at the same, no matter what track, no matter what corner, is ridiculous. You don't do that. You know, I have hands-on experience. You change your brake bias constantly. Tyre temperature, everything, it changes it. So, you know, nobody has a 50% brake bias. It's absurd. So, yeah, I think that's a good thing, and it'll allow a bit more dynamic feel to the game as well, so you can adjust it with your tyre wear. If you get too much understeer, too much oversteer, you can put the brake bias forwards or backwards, and that'll help as well, especially with the trail braking side of things. So, yeah, adds a lot to the game, I think, personally. And, you know, if you can, the aim of the game is going to be to run the brake bias as far back as you can get it, because of the way these cars work. And it will allow for extra rotation, but then obviously you're just risking going round. But the checker flag has fallen, so anyone not on a lap now, that is it. Oh, Chuck retired from the session. What happened there? It looked like he crashed into the pits or something. But there we go. We've all watched Paul as he goes around the final corner in the Williams. This has looked like a good lap. I've been waffling on about the new game. And across the line, it's a pole position lap, 17.6. Wow, where's Chuckle? Can he beat it? No, he cannot. He cannot. He was fractionally behind. DRL Mike is well off the track. What's Prodigy on? Is he on a lap? Look how close that gap is as well. 17.663 and a 6.66. Amazing stuff for Paul and Chuckle. But Prodigy has gone quickest of anyone in the middle sector. Wow. Are we going to see another Red Bull snatch it at the very last moment in qualifying? Through the right-hander, the Red Bull goes. He throws that car in. He is absolutely on the limit. Is Prodigy. He will love to get a pole position if he can. AJ crosses the line. He hasn't improved. He will not be getting any further up the grid. What's this going to be? He's lost time. He's not improved in that final sector. Wow, anticlimactic, but oh, Chuckle, 17.666. Paul Jones Jr. though, your pole position for tonight, 17.663. How close is that? 3,000ths of a second. 3,000ths. Amazing, amazing stuff from them too. And I will jump back to chat. Yes, Matthew, obviously I play a Seto course and the brake bias makes things more challenging around street circuits and corners off camber because the rear gets unstable. Absolutely. Again, does then worry me that if you run ABS, whether it's going to be OP with ABS. But again, we'll have to see. They need to nerf having assist a little bit. Well done, Paul. Yes, absolutely. What a lap, Paul. What a lap. pulled that one out of the bag, didn't he? Started off qualifying a little bit shaky. But remember, DRL Mike in the Red Bull. He's P3, but he will have a 5-place grid penalty for that contact with Paul. So, very strange one. I'm sure that'll be in the stewards room later. So, he's going to start in 8th, I believe. And also Prof as well for that contact with Phil. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And look at that. 0.8 of a second separate the top 13 drivers on the grid. That is about as close as you're going to get in a qualifying session. Amazing. Of course, I'll say they need an emphasis. Well, they do, don't they? Come on. You need to reward players for turning off assists. I'm all for having assists, you know, because it allows everyone to join in. But you can't have assists where it's just overpowered to have assists on. Like, you know, on this game, for example, with ABS, especially in the wet, you know, you can just absolutely mash the brake as hard as you like, and you can brake so late and just be so consistent with it. It's just easy. Whereas if you run it off, you're really on the edge, and just one tiny mistake, and you could be losing 3-4 seconds just by diving deep into a corner. So I just think you need to make, if you have ABS on, you're losing more, you're losing time for it, but you're going to be more consistent because, you know, it should encourage, you want to try and encourage people to turn those assists off and drive it as realistic as possible in the but leave it open that anyone can drive it how they want. So, I mean, that's my opinion. You know, I think that's the fairest and best way to have the game set up. And it's a tricky balancing act. Don't get me wrong. It's a very tricky balancing act because, you know, you don't want to nerve people that can't drive without any assists. You don't want them to not want to play the game because they're too slow at the same time. So it's a bit of a balancing act, yeah. But here we go. As we wait for everyone to choose their strategies, I'll tell you one thing I've noticed. Look in the Mercedes garage. Look at the stacks of wheels. Who stacks wheels like that? Genuinely. They would roll away. That is the most absurd stacking of tyres I've ever seen. I don't even know what to say. That's Mercedes, hats off to you, because that's genius. Whoever stacked that and made that work, fair play to him. I'm brilliant. But yes, looking at that strategy, here we go. Reminds me, of course, we have a sprint race. So that's going to spice things up a bit. 10 laps of the Australian Grand Prix circuit to set the grid for the main Grand Prix, for the main event. We will have points. So points this time are awarded for the sprint race. I have no idea how many points are awarded where, because I need to bring it up and have a look. And I'm going to do that as I speak to you. Where's RTG? There it is. Where did they put it? Did they put it on announcements? No, they didn't put it on announcements. Honestly, I don't know. Rules? Maybe it's on rules. There it is. Oh, they put it in the Monday chat. There it goes. So, they're doing it like real life. So first place in the sprint will get 8 points. Second place 7. 6 points for third, 5 points for fourth, 4 points for fifth, 3 points for sixth, 2 points for seventh, and 1 point for 8th place. So there is points awarded here. We're going to make it that little bit more. We're going to check tyres. I'm guessing everyone's on the medium, apart from Danny. Danny absolutely has to be different, doesn't he? And he's the only driver on anything other than the mediums, and he's on a set of hard tyres. So, fair enough for him. He's obviously given it a go. We will see, no doubt, a few donuts. There, Chuckle goes. It's not a bad effort. The Red Bull, not quite, but nearly. There's the Alfa Romeo. No, that was awful. Oh my goodness, what is that second Alfa Romeo doing? That is Aki. It's got to be. Amazing. Truly amazing. My favourite part. I mean, the fact that it's got to this in league racing, that we're genuinely doing 360s on a formation lap is in my mind, just one of the funniest things that has ever come out of any F1 game. That's the view I'm getting of the starting grid. That is awful. But 5 laps, and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix sprint. It has been a pretty good start, even start up ahead. I cannot see what he's going on, but it looks like Paul has managed to maintain the lead. Chuckle's having to go at the inside. There was a Ferrari off in the background further back, but I couldn't see who it was. I think it was Bugatti Sloven because he's dropping down, or maybe it was Matty, I'm not sure. But they are filing down into the second turn, and it is Paul Jones leading from Chuckle, following for DRL Mike, who's managed to get back up a load of positions, or has he got his reset? Not really sure, but Looney Man, Royal Rumble goes side by side further back. I'm just going to double check with the position changes. DRL Mike, oh no, because it will take his grid penalty on the actual main race. That is very, very frustrating. But there we go. We'll keep position changes up. Golden Wolf's had a great start, up 4 positions, but Matty Jones, it must have been Matty Jones off on the grass further back because he's down 4 positions. And what a clean first lap from everyone. That's lovely to see. Amazing stuff as Prodigy very close to the back of Lee, but Lee very close to the back of DRL Mike as well. And they're all following in single file. There's a bit of a train at the moment, as you would expect on the first lap. No major gaps going back. Josh McGill, don't forget about him. Forgot if he was even here because he was obviously not involved in qualifying. He is up 4 positions into 15th place already. And he will be looking to get some speed up, and it looks like he's going to make quick. Well, oh my goodness, there's Matty rounding in the wall. He's lost his wing. He's still going, fortunately, but Josh McGill into P14, and after Aki now. Unfortunately for him, he may have that qualifying ban, but he does have this sprint race, which he can gain positions, and that is already 5 positions in a lap and a half, well, 2 laps, well, 1 lap 2, yeah, so a lap and a little bit, really. So great start from the Mercedes. He's going to be one to watch as this race continues. Matty Jones is in all sorts of trouble. AJ! Oh my goodness, what has happened to AJ? And that is a safety car VSC, I think. It's a VSC. Oh my goodness, what has happened to AJ? Let's have a look. Oh, he's there on the right hand side. He's gone speed straight in the wall. That looks like a VSC though. No full safety car. Yeah, VSC. There it is on the boards on the right hand side. Wow. Dramatic stuff. One Mercedes making up positions, the other one dropping down to the back of the grid. He will have another chance come race day, but he's going to be gutted with that. Absolutely gutted. He's got it all to do. And wait for the VSC to go back in. We've all done that before, Matthew. Yeah, in all honesty, Golden Wolf gets himself a 5-second penalty for a collision with Phil. What has happened there? Oh, look at this. What a restart from Josh McGill. He's going up the inside of Aki. He nearly got him there. As everyone gets away, they've all managed to keep it under the delta pretty well. So fair play to everyone for that. But yeah, Josh McGill getting a lightning restart. Yeah, honestly, Matthew, I don't think I've ever gone into the right-hand side of that wall. I've lost the back end through there a lot, but I've normally caught it and then gone the other way. I don't think I've ever gone into the right-hand side, funnily enough. Maybe I have. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, Josh all over the back of Aki here. This is where straight line speed comes into play. Who's got the lowest wings? Who's got the highest wings? It looks like Josh McGill has pretty low wings because he's flying past Aki here. He's going to have to go the long way round, but Aki gives the position. Ever the respectful racer knows there's no point wasting time fighting somebody who is much, much quicker than him at the moment. Josh McGill obviously really belonging at the front of the grid. We're going to go back up to the leaders because it is still a bit of a train with DRS enabled. Matthew, I do it all the time in TT. Yeah, not surprised with that as Josh McGill makes another move on Prof. Oh no, I think Prof's gone round. I think Prof has gone round. He's had a bit of an issue. They're very, very close. In a bit of a line here. Prof's obviously had issues. Didn't look like he had damage. No, fortunately. Ooh, Lee very close to the back of DRL Mike there. Chucks up 2 positions. I missed that from his starting position. So he's had a good start as well. Oh, Aki's out. Aki is now out. Wow, and that is a full safety car. And I'm not going to, don't know why I'm watching with Matty because I'm never going to see it from there. He's so far back. But Aki on the exit of turn 2, maybe he's dropped it on the throttle. But that has put a big spanner in the works because, well, that helps Paul, let's be honest. Because now we're going to get another few laps without DRS. Turn 3 for Aki, yeah. Well, is it, yeah, is it 3 or 2? I don't know, because I mean, you got that first chicane. Is that turn 1 and 2, or is that just turn 1? I always call that, yeah. Yeah, I mean. I think officially it's probably going to be turns 1 and 2, isn't it? I can't imagine we'll see anyone pit. I mean, if you're at the back of the grid, absolutely worth bolting on a set of softs. Because you've got nothing to lose. I would. It's turn 1 and 2, yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. This bit here is turn 1 and then turn 2. See, I just call it one corner, really. But, yeah, I think you're right officially. It is. Props in the pit. So maybe he did have damage on that. No wind change, eh? No, he's just bolting on a set of softs after losing positions. But yeah, so this would be turn 3, and it looked like Aki probably went into the wall on the right-hand side, I would imagine. It's normally what would happen there. Unless he got hit by anyone, but you never know. Don't see any. Nobody else seems to have damage because nobody's come into the pits. Yeah, wow. That spiced things up. Josh McGill up 8 positions from his starting grid in 5 laps. What an achievement by him. And I think with pace like that, watch out for him in the race. He's without a shadow of a doubt, he's going to be one to watch because that is an incredible feat to get up to, well, near the fringes of the points in the sprint in that short a time. And no doubt he's going to maybe make up a couple more positions by the end of this sprint. So, hats off to him. It's just really Matty now we're waiting on. Albeit the safety car won't go in this lap regardless. And Paul is hanging back from the safety car, quite away there. I'm going to shoot, mates. Hopefully a good jump out rate for you or watch. I'll see you later, mate. Yeah, no worries. Catch up with you in a bit, Matthew. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, it's been a pleasure. And yeah, I mean this race will be up on the channel anyway, so come back and watch it anytime. Same with the highlights. Obviously, Kingsholm normally pops does a quick edit of the highlights, and they're always great to watch. Always great to watch. As go for another lap behind safety car. Matty Jones is he's slowly catching up. He will be well caught up in a couple of corners. If that even, he might be caught up by the first corner. Giving the extra speed. And that will signify pretty much that at the end of this lap we will go back racing again. So we'll be on to lap 7. So we won't have many laps to go. 4 laps, I believe. Nathan Smith in the chat. Let's go, Mike and Danny. Absolutely. So, yeah, not doing badly. They are not doing badly. I mean, Danny up 1 position. He's behind his teammate. And looking pretty solid. No points for P10 in the sprint race. He's doing well. And Mike, I take it, will be up here in P3. But remember, he's that 5-place grid penalty for that contact with Paul in qualifying. So whatever he finishes here, he will be dropped 5 places come the full race, which is I'm sure incredibly frustrating for him. As we do see safety car in this lap, so Paul now becomes the de facto de facto safety car, really. And he will decide the pace and when he wants to go, when he wants to restart, and everyone has to try and guess and go with him as best as they can, really. Which is always good fun. But Paul, very, very experienced in this. He knows when to go and when not to. He's going to leave it pretty late, I assume. Through the last corner he goes. He's still not gone. And looks like he's going now. And it's a semi-decent restart. Chuckle has gone with him. Weaving to get a bit of temperature in those tyres as much as he can. But he has had a good restart. And I think it's Lee Craig that's under a bit of a threat from Prodigy, who's also got Chuck behind him as well, don't forget. And Lee Craig goes a little bit defensive there. But manages to hold the position. Danny goes up in position, but he must have lost a few positions because he was further up just now. Josh McGill's gone up another couple of places as well, so a little bit of chaos that I missed in the mid-pack there. I did predict Josh McGill would get another position or two by the end of this race, but Royal Rumble's now looking at the back of Looney Man. I think Looney Man's probably got lower wings on him because he's struggling as soon as he pulls out of the slipstream to get anywhere near. There's Looney Man, yeah, just holding Royal Rumble up now. And Josh McGill is now all over the back of these two. And he could be looking at making a move potentially as well. They all slot back into order. Looney Man dropping off the back of Pippo. He's 1.2 seconds already behind the Alpine. Chuck very close to the back of Prodigy as well through this final sector. They're going to go back with these three. Paul Jones, that's fastest lap, no surprise there. Up front, no point for fastest lap, do remember that in the sprint. It's only in the full race. Oh, that's very wide in the AlphaTauri. Who's that? That's Prodigy. Prodigy is round at turn 2 and he is dropping way down the order, and I'm sure he's going to be gutted with that. Absolutely gutted as Josh McGill does make that move on Royal Rumble, as I did predicted he might well do. And there is no stopping him tonight, so that, well, an extra position, but with Prodigy spinning and dropping it as well, it's an extra 2 positions for the Mercedes driver. And he is through and looking pretty formidable, it has to be said. And off he goes after Looney Man now. Ernie Burney gets himself a time penalty for track limits. He's got Matty Jones all over the back of him. And I think Matty, only a matter of time looking at this before he finds a way past the McLaren. He is all over him. Ferrari and McLaren fighting side by side. Things you love to see. No DRS still just yet, but Matty's going to go up the inside as Josh McGill and Looney Man also going side by side. Josh McGill tried to make a move but couldn't quite do it. Looney Man stays ahead for now, but again this is looking pretty inevitable from the Mercedes pool. Another fastest lap, but DRL Mike matches him and betters him even. Josh McGill gets past Looney Man without the need of DRS. He is on fire this sprint race, up 12 positions. What a sprint he's having, absolutely incredible stuff. He does have a big gap now to get up to Pippo. Phil gets himself a penalty. Phil gets himself a penalty and then crashes out. Oh my goodness, wow. Prodigy had to avoid him there. It's a yellow flag but nothing more. Prof has no wing, so whether he got involved or caught up in that, I don't know. But he has lost his wing and been a bit of a disaster for the Aston Martin driver this race. He's not had the best of luck recently. Everyone pretty much spreading out a little bit more. They're all staying within 7 tenths of each other. The DRL Mike flashing with his battery like that. He's been using it. Chuckle struggling to stay within a second of Paul, who's setting a lightning pace, it has to be said, in this sprint. He's had a very good sprint indeed, controlled it from the front from start to finish, doing what he does best. He was Monday champion a couple of seasons ago, if I remember rightly, and looking to get back on form once again. Josh McGill fastest lap, and if that doesn't tell you, about this man's pace. I don't know what does. Up 12 positions, fastest lap. He is all over the back of Pippa already. He could pick up another position yet before this race or this sprint is over. Prodigy does pick up another position from Prof. Prof just going round without a wing. Fair play. Well, he might as well, I guess. Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Lee Craig got himself a time penalty. I didn't see that. Let's bring up the penalties now. There's a yellow in sector 1. That's Golden Wolf. That could allow Prof to go through and see worth it for Prof. He's got an extra position. Oh, and Josh McGill gets the move made onto Pippo. And up to P6 he goes. What a drive from the Mercedes driver. Chuckle has dropped out of DRS range of Paul, and he's got DRL Mike all over the back of him, but I don't think there's going to be any move made unless there's any mistakes. It could be a bit close. We're going through the last couple of corners now. This is very close with the Mercedes, the Red Bull and the Haas. Sorry, Paul Jones will cross the line and will take the checkered flag to win the sprint. Chuckle will come home P2, only just. DRL Mike hounding him to the line. Chuck will take P4 after penalties. Josh McGill even gets P5. He gets ahead of Lee Craig on penalties. Amazing. 14 positions. Wow. I mean, no words. Absolutely no words. That was an incredible drive from Josh. Hats off to him. Paul as well. Amazing, amazing drive. What a sprint race, and if that's anything to go by, this race is going to be a cracker. This race is going to be an absolute cracker. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to see this. Not that I can spell. I'm trying to type and I cannot spell. That's awful. Wow. Paul Jones Jr. takes the sprint win and therefore will be P1 on the grid for the main race. He takes 8 points as well in the championship and he'll be loving that. Chuckle will take P2 and he will be happy with that. Also DRL Mike P3, but he will have that grid penalty. But at least he gets the points. Chuck P4, Josh McGill outstanding P5. Lee Craig loses a few positions thanks to that time penalty. Looney Man did well in the end to finish P7. Royal Rumble, the last of the point scorers in this sprint. Pippo 9th, Bugatti 10th, and that pretty much rounds that out. And on to the main race we go. Unreal stuff. Unreal. Wow. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see this and to see how it's going to unfold. Looks like it's dry again. Normally is in Australia. Very rare we ever get any rain, but you never know. Sometimes it does happen. But yeah, it looks like it's bright sunshine, so no sign of any weather anytime soon. As everyone picks their strategies, decides what to go with. Well, it's changed it on its head, hasn't it? That really has. I mean, Paul looked pretty supreme out front. He looked like he just controlled that one. He really did. Never discount Chuckle though. At the moment, he is on fire recently. But, you know, what do you say about Josh McGill from the back of the field? Incredible stuff. Maybe the safety car helped him out a little bit, you could argue. But it took away a couple of laps of racing for him. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, I guess. But, yeah, he's going to be one to watch in this race. Absolutely. As we have the new rule now as well. Got to wait 30 seconds before radiating up at least. Which is a good rule. Gives people a chance to, you know, obviously not tweak their setups, but you've got certain parts of the setup you're allowed to change in the part firmly, like your tyre pressures, your front wing, brake bias, differential settings, that sort of thing. So always useful to do, and you also need to pick your strategy, how much fuel you want for the race as well, and that can take a little bit of time. So it's only fair we just be patient and wait for everyone to choose their optimum strategy. Not to say people won't still get it wrong. We all get it wrong. Let's be honest. I've got it wrong many times. Ugh, I dare not count. 10 seconds to go now. And we will get the formation lap underway. And Paul will lead us away on the formation lap. We will bring up the tyre graphic and see who's gone on what. And no surprise there. Josh McGill, who's now in P4 by the way, because DRL Mike has that grid penalty. He is starting on a hard compounded tyre, which honestly is an OP strategy, but, and this is a big but, safety cars can ruin that. And this is Australia. Australia, in my experience, always has tons of safety cars. In real life, it's about as boring as it gets, but on the game, the walls are so close, the speeds are so high, it's so easy to lose it. And you tend to find a few DNFs. We had a couple in the sprint. We even had a safety car and a VSC in the sprint. So, yeah. But it just depends what time it comes out. It could throw a massive span in the works. There's your predicted pit stop strategy, and as usual, Codemasters have no idea what they're talking about. They think that you either go medium to hard, and they cannot think for the life of them maybe you could do it the other way around. No, you've got to go soft, medium, and then hard. Absolutely, that is by far and away the quickest strategy. Pit twice, and use every single compounded tyre. I mean, if that's not Ferrari strategy, I don't know what is. Amazing stuff, amazing. So, go back with the leaders as Paul comes on their final couple of corners. Hopefully he's got his mediums up to temperature and warmed up nicely. All of only a couple of disqualifications. That was Philanaki. Now presumably contact between the two of them. We got this amazing camera view once again that I cannot see a thing with. There goes the red. Oh my goodness, Prodigy, come on. At least I'm presuming that's Prodigy. Matty Jones gets himself disqualified, as does Prof. And AJ only to pull into space as we will get going. I will have to run on board with Paul. I think initially 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are racing in the Australian Grand Prix. It's going to be a good start for Paul, and he gets into the lead, but he gets a bit of wheel spin later on in the phase, and the two Hasses are coming at him, Chuck and Chuckle, but they can't make a move. They're not close enough. There's absolute chaos further down. Pippo's round. There's all sorts going on. It's like 6 wide further back. Absolute pure madness. What is going on now? 3 wide down into the third corner. There's an AlphaTauri getting squeezed there. Mercedes goes around the outside, as does a Williams. Great stuff there. Matty as well. Josh McGill is one of those drivers. He's gone way down the order. He's obviously had a really bad start, but he's managed to get going and got away without any damage, I think, looking at it. Certainly nothing visually, but you can never quite tell on this game. There's a McLaren and an Alpine going side by side further back. And that's Golden Wolf and Pippo trading positions. And now Prodigy's going to get the run through on both of them. DRL might get some move on Bugatti further up, and he's through into P6 and trying to make up for that grid penalty. But wow, that was more chaotic than the sprint start. The sprint was clean and neat and tidy. That was more chaotic. Maybe because everyone's on different tyres, perhaps. So there's a few spanners in the works. There's only Bernie. Looks like he is going round and round and round, and that is not ideal for him. But Chuckle now hounding Paul in the opening stages. The two Hasses chasing the Williams for the race lead. That is not something you see every day of the week. Let's be fair. But what a disaster start. After all that work in the sprint, Josh McGill down to P10. I'm sure he's going to be devastated for that. Prodigy now. Oh, Prodigy's had a bit of a moment. He's round and perhaps got a bit of damage. We'll have to see. There's a few battles further back. Bugatti and Looney Man side by side. Looney Man shows him the curb and through the Aston Martin goes. It was a little bit on the edge of how much room he left him, really, but he's got away with that. And I think all's fair in love and war. It was hard, it was aggressive, it was a bit over the edge, but it worked. And Phil now getting a run, but not quite. He hasn't got the straight line speed. Who's that? AJ and Danny now going sub further back, and Aki and Golden Wolf also going side by side as well. Aki's going to make the position, and up to V15 the Alfa Romeo goes. And he's looking to catch up to his teammate and try and score some good points for Alfa Romeo. Prodigy has no front wing at all. He's got to do a whole lap like that. That is gutting for him. It's the top three, and Lee Craig just dropping off the back of these guys somewhat. Russell Anchak now sets fastest lap. DRL Mike now sets fastest lap as they go through. DRS is now enabled. That is DRL Mikey is round. Oh, to set him fastest left and looking so good. Devastating for the Red Bull driver, and he's got to lose another position. Has he got wing damage? He must have from that. Doesn't look like anything obvious. Maybe he has a little bit. Oh no, there's Azaki in the same place he DNF'd in the sprint. He's gone round once again. And Aki in turn 3 are not getting on. Not getting on at all this race. But through we go. Chuck very close to the back of Chuckle, it has to be said. Oh, Josh McGill! Is he round? Josh McGill is round! Unbelievable! In the middle of the high-speed chicane, he is round. And after all that hard work in the sprint, it has gone begging. Well, Phil and Matty now side by side. Matty's going to get the ascendancy on this one. Phil has to concede, and AJ's right there to take advantage of him. What great racing. What great racing we are having this evening. This is fantastic to watch. Absolutely loving it as Phil now looks to make a move on Matt. He's going to go up the inside into turn 1 and a double DRS as well. I think Matt is going to be a bit vulnerable from AJ here. Yeah, AJ looking. He's going to go up the inside. What a move from the Mercedes driver, but Matty's having none of it, and he's going to keep it around the outside, which turns the inside for the next corner. They're still side by side, but AJ now gets ahead, and that's going to leave Matty now vulnerable to Danny behind as well. And this is great stuff. I am thoroughly enjoying watching this. As there's a yellow flag, that is Golden Wolf, who is now DNF, as his teammate parts him, and that is a VSC, I believe, because yeah, no safety car, just a VSC. Oh, second VSC of the evening. Wow. I don't know where to look. There is so much going on up and down the field. This is incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. We will go on to this. We will go on position changes. See who's gone up and down. Who's the big winners and losers. AJ and Phils. Look at that. 9 and 8 positions. They've had a corking start, haven't they? Unfortunately, obviously, Josh McGill, the biggest loser at the moment. Phils decided to pit. That's an interesting call. That is a very, very interesting call. DRL Mike also in, and DRS is enabled. We are back racing once again, so they're not going to get the full effect of that VSC. They will go to the end on hards, and they may have gained just a little bit, maybe a second or so. It's going to leave them vulnerable late on. They're going to have very old, worn tyres. And see how that strategy plays out. But again, very late safety car could help them out. There's Royal Rumble very close to the back of Lee Craig. Lee Craig now dropped out of DRS range of the top 3. No DRS down this straight. But we will have it as Pippo and Danny trade positions further back. Pippo making a move on the AlphaTauri, while his AlphaTauri teammate tries to make a move on Lee, but can't quite do it. Onto the grass he goes. through they go. But yeah, Lee really struggling here. His defence as well is costing him more time again. Go back with the leaders because they are in a little bit of a train here. The three of them out in a league of their own as things stand. Nobody quite close to make any moves, but I'll tell you what, Chuckle's pretty close here. He's going to get DRS, but he's not going to... He's just going to have to sit behind and be towed along for a little bit. He's not going to use too much, actually, not going to use too much of his tyres. The two Hasses could app strategy pool here as well if they decide to work together. There's Chuckle now very, very close, and he's going to make a move for the lead here. He's got much lower wings than Paul, and through the Hass goes. Prodigy sets fast as that on a brand new set of tyres, and through Chuckle goes, and he is leading this Grand Prix now, and it is Paul Jones Jr. in a Hass sandwich. And through he goes into the final corner. Paul decides to make a move back as Josh McGill now gets past Danny further back, and he's got that move made. Phil, oh, Bernie's round. He is round. As that DRL mic now goes through. Any close battles we have up and down the field. I think the only close one got Prof on the back of Danny, but Prof on hard tyres, Danny on mediums. Prof's going to have a hard time going through there, and he doesn't have DRS, or chose not to use it. I'm not really sure what's going on there, because he absolutely should have had it. Oh, Ernie Bernie's out. Ernie Bernie is out. I want to see what's happened to him there, because that is a very unusual place to DNF. Wow, wait, what has happened there? I have never ever seen a DNF there in that way. That is strange. There's Josh McGill now trying to make a move on Matty. He's not going to be close enough into the high-speed chicane. Remember, he's also going to be lacking in confidence probably through there, because he lost it through there earlier on in this race. We will have the DRS now, but Matty does as well. But down the inside, the Mercedes goes. It's going to be very, very close. A pinch point on the inside. Matty takes a wide swoop in line, keeps the position for now. But yeah, what a defence that. Phil gets himself a time penalty for track limits. Not going to make a difference at the moment. Oh, Matty's round. I'm too busy looking at the chat, and Matty is round. He was defending so well from Josh McGill, but couldn't quite hold on to that. That is gutting for him. Royal Rumble still bottled up and frustrated, no doubt, behind Lee. They are dropping away from the leaders. Chuck now just struggling as well to stay in the DRS zone of Paul and Chuckle. They're setting a hell of a pace. I think he's okay though. Definitely got the least battery of the three of them, but they are all using it. And through they go. What a race this is. And Danny as well, very, very close on track. Prof's going to look to make a move. He will have the DRS here, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. Get a bit of an overspeed, but the straight just simply isn't long enough. Prof is going to be stuck behind this AlphaTauri for at least a few more corners. Prof definitely looking the quicker driver at the moment, even on those hard tyres. Matty's now into the pit, probably for a new wing, I imagine. And chat. Just dropping out of that DRS zone, and that's what was that as a camera angle, honestly. It's awful. But yeah, Chuck just dropping out of that 1 second window, and I think it's going to cost him. because he will not have DRS in a minute. He's going to be tantalisingly close. Where's the DRS detection point? It's just about to come up, and is he in it? No, I think he's just out of it. I don't think he's going to get the DRS, and that could cost him. Yeah, it's going to cost him. He's not got enough battery to keep up with these guys. These guys are setting a really, really fast pace. And this is it. You just get out of it once, and it can cost you big time. It's almost an impossible chance to get back in, but I mean, you know, he'll be comforted by the fact he's got a big gap behind him, and he's still setting good pace. He's just about matching these guys. Don't think anybody's particularly close. I mean, Proff's still the closest to anyone at the moment. Prodigy gets past his teammate. May have been a bit of team orders going on that. Prodigy being on the soft did look like a fairly easy move, only got the last bit of it though. His Paul's now hounding Chuckle. He's gained quite a bit in that first sector. I think Chuckle's running lower wings. William's very, very quick in the first sector. But yeah, Chuckle just got lower wings and very good in the high speed as well by looks of things. Here we go. Like I say, they have dropped Chuck. Chuck just drifting back towards the clutches of Lee, as Lee manages to get away from Aki. The third time in that corner. Oh no. Where are you going, my man? Oh dear. Royal into the pits for a new wing change, so I'm not sure what happened there. Prof still frustrated behind the AlphaTauri. He's going to have TRS here. Can he make the move? No, he cannot. He hasn't got the speed to get past him. He's absolutely on it. He's dropped Looney Man behind him. He has no battery left. He is reining in Chuck. He's dropped off the top two. He's definitely clawing that ground. He's getting very, very close. If he can get in DRS range, I'm sure he'll be happy. Top two still only separated by about half a second. Paul definitely got more downforce. He just takes more commitment into the corners. He's going to be very, very close to the back of this Haas here. Aki retires in the pit lane. Paul is going to be close. Is he going to make a move into turn one? He decides better of it. Chuckle did go defensive, but then decided to go back. Looney Man drops position. I think he's in the pits. Paul is going to be very close to the back of this Haas. Is he going to go for it? No, he decides to back out. This is getting very, very close. Paul now looks like he's the quicker driver at the moment. You can tell. You see Looney Man and Pippo come out of the pits. And Phil goes through. Aki has left. Still frustrated behind this AlphaTauri. I just don't think he has the straight line speed, but he's pushing the AlphaTauri through now. He just can't. It's every time he pulls out in the slipstream, he just cannot. You know, I think this AlphaTauri's running really low wings in comparison to Prof, because Prof is so much faster than Danny here. But he's just frustrated. He's bottled up behind. He has not got the speed. The straight line speed, even with DRS, to get close to this AlphaTauri. He's holding him up so much. I'm sure Prof is going to be extremely frustrated. At this point, you can see how much more speed he's taken into the corners. is all over this AlphaTauri. And finally, the AlphaTauri pits. I'm sure he's going to be relieved to hear that. Or see that, sorry. Bugatti's into the pit. Prof goes through. And hopefully he can get a bit of an overcut and really put his lap times to good use. Josh McGill and AJ Baker going side by side here. No team orders down at Mercedes. They are fighting it tooth and nail. Josh McGill gets through. Those mediums dropping off a little bit for AJ. A little way off the lead. They got a bit of... Oh, as AJ gives himself a track penalty. And Lee now in DRS range of Chuck, who has dropped off the back of these top two. And Paul still DRSing. I mean, Paul's battery is much hot. He's got much more. And this is why he's looking a bit quicker. Chuck will by getting ahead has had to use a lot of his battery. And it's going to cost him. Chuckle pulls into the pits. Paul Jones takes over the lead of the Grand Prix. Into the pits the Haas comes. And he's going to go for the undercut. Paul really needs to push now. In he goes. Set of hards going on. Out he goes. Is it going to be an undercut from Chuckle? Is it going to be an overcut from Paul? This is where things get very interesting. Lee also in the pits as well. Prof now stuck behind Chuckle. Now this could play an effect because Chuckle's on cold tyres. If Prof can make a move, I don't think he will. He won't have DRS. As DRL Mike has a spin in the final sector. His race has gone from bad to worse. But that's not Chuckle. I want Chuckle, thank you. Honestly, this game is so bad. Oh, there's a bit of a wiggle there from Prof. But we know Prof's straight line speed isn't great, and Chuckle's is pretty supreme. And yeah, you can see he's just pulling away even with the slipstream. There's no competition there at all. And I mean, I want to go to gap to leader. There, Paul goes in to the pit. He's got it stopped in time. Chuck also comes in as well. Josh McGill will stay out on those cards. And what we're going to do, this is going to be close. Around the final corner, Chuckle goes. Paul is already leaving his pit box and he's going to come out of the pits now. This is going to be very, very close. There is Chuckle and there is Paul, but he's going to be on cold tyres, remember. He goes very, very wide. Oh my goodness, what has happened there? That is awful. The retiring car of DRL Mike, who retired in the pit lane as per league rules. His car's come out and it did not look like it was ghosted. And I got a feel for Chuckle in that position because he absolutely would have overtaken Paul there. Paul, I think, has got very lucky with that. Such bad timing. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I mean, in the end, it was okay because he was ghosting, thank goodness, because otherwise Chuckle was ploughing in the back of him regardless. He had to brake heavily and lose so much speed. And that's allowed Paul to get the overcut in the end. He definitely got the overcut, but you see those cold tyres are going to struggle to bring up to temperature, and this is where now Chuckle's over. And what's the match looking like? Chuckle's not got very much, but Paul has quite a bit, and Chuckle really needs to make a move now if he's got any chance of doing this, unless he can just be towed along and save his battery perhaps. He will have older tyres, albeit by just one lap, but it can make the difference, you know. Prof is being towed along with these guys as well, so I'm sure he's going to be great for the little tow, and that will help him overcut his nemesis of, was it Royal? I think it's Royal. Oh man, I can't remember. One of the AlphaTauris. Forgotten who it was even. That's embarrassing. Chuckle's still all over the back of Paul, but wow, what a dramatic pit stop sequence that was. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Because DRL Mike did absolutely everything right. He retired his car in the pit lane, but his AI car drove back out the pit lane like it quite often does. and straight out onto the racetrack in front of other people. And that, I mean, it's a disgrace that Codemasters even allow the game to do that. It's awful, absolutely shocking. I mean, you know, there's just not much you can say really. It's so unfortunate. Chuckle will be fuming, no doubt. He will be absolutely fuming. Lee all over the back of Chuck. These two having both pitted as well. Through they go. The final sector. Just come back, mate. What have I missed? Well, Matthew, well. Yeah. I mean, what haven't you missed? Aki spun about 3 times in turn 3. And but it hit the wall in exactly the same place. There was obviously a magnet there attracting him to it or something. DRL Mike's had a bit of a poor race as Bugatti gets past Pippo. And Pippo might want to have a come back at him here. He's going to go down the inside. Is he going to be late enough on the brakes? No, he is not. Bugatti keeps the position, goes a bit slow on the apex though. And keeps the position for now. But I mean, the other main thing is we got a Prodigy now around for the second time in the final corner. He's not having a good race. Yeah, I mean, Chuckle tried to go for the undercut on Paul. Paul went for the overcut, had more battery, made it work because he came out of the pits ahead. And as he came out of the pit lane, Chuckle got the run on him and was clearly, I mean, we don't know what would have happened, but you could clearly see Chuckle had so much overspeed and Paul on the cold tyres that Chuckle would have breezed past Paul. But at the same time, DRL Mike had retired in the pit lane as per league rules. And his AI drove out of the pits and basically stopped on track in front of them. And Chuckle thought he was going to go into the back of the Red Bull and had to slam on the brakes. He would have ploughed into him anyway. There was no way he could avoid it. And it did ghost, thank God. But it lost Chuckle the chance to get ahead of Paul, which he would have inevitably done looking at it. And now Paul is ahead. And on 1 lap fresher tyres and more battery. It looks like I've missed the whole flipping lot there. Yeah, there's been a bit going on. It's been more of a strategic race than anything else. Prof has been heads up behind an AlphaTauri, and I can't remember who it was. But we won't go there. He's got a bit of free air, so I imagine he's trying to get in those lap times now. But these two are very, very close. We've also got the battle for the last podium position between Chuck and Lee, because obviously Prof is yet to pit, and Josh McGill is. And these two very, very close. Lee can catch up to Chuck, but he just can't make a move or get anywhere really. There's been battles up and down the field really. They're all sort of pairing off somewhat with each other. You see Phil's behind Looney Man. A few penalties as well further back. There's Josh McGill is in the pits. So I wonder what happened there. And he is on a fresh set of mediums. Now where will he come out? Oh, I think he could be behind Looney Man and Phil here. Yeah, it's going to be behind Phil's and Looney Man. Nobody behind him, so he's safe there. He's in 8th place, which is not ideal from the Mercedes driver. But he will have mediums and on low fuel. I expect to see him gain a couple more positions before this race is done. Go back to the top 2 once again. There's a few close battles on track. We're actually going to go with Phil's because he's quite close to Looney Man here. He is in the slipstream of the Aston Martin driver. Is he going to be able to make a move? No, he's not going to be able to make a move into the fast left-right chicane. If he can get a good run, he might have a chance, but I don't think that's good enough. And his battery light is flashing, so he is struggling. And Josh McGill will be onto the back of these two any minute now. He's got his tyres up to temperature. Expect to see him come breezing through. Chuckle very, very close to the back of Paul though as we cross the start-finish line. We are on to lap 20 of 29, not long left of this Grand Prix. That's a little bit wide from Chuckle, and it's going to lose him a bit of momentum, and you can see that. Look at that. Even with the DRS, he's lost a good 10th or so. It's been the highlight of the race so far then. Difficult to pick out. I mean, I don't know. Is that Josh goes past Phil? I don't know actually, Matthew. That's a very good question actually, because I don't think there's been any like major moments. There's Josh McGill all over the back of Looney Man here, and this is going to be a matter of time. Look at the speed he's got, and through the Mercedes go. Looney Man's going to try and hang it around the outside, but he's going to have the longer run. He's going to still hang it around the outside. Fair play to him for trying to give that one a go, but that could leave him vulnerable to Phil behind. Both got DRS though, and through they go. Aki hitting the wall. Depends which time you're on about, mate, because he hit the wall about 3 or 4 times, I think. Same place. As Prof now comes in the pit, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes down. I don't think I've got any particular standout moments really in this race so far. I mean, yeah, Josh McGill spinning early on. That was obviously a big one. Very important potentially for the championship as well. You know, because he looked formidable in that sprint race. He really did, as Prof comes out in 12th. He is ahead of Danny, which is what he wants to be. But yeah, I mean, you've seen a good race to watch, but there's been nothing particularly stand out. So unlucky, maybe taking my old route spinning all the time. Yeah, it's constantly turn 3. He was obviously getting too much on the power, and the back end was just stepping out on him. He just kept spearing into the wall on the right hand side. Bless him. Not a good race. One to forget from the Alfa Romeo. His teammate, meanwhile, was chasing the podium, but they're going to have to be wary here, because Josh McGill, look at him in the background, 1.8 seconds. I think Josh McGill could be on for a podium here, which, given his spin and given his race, would be an incredible feat. Prodigy goes round in sector 1, and I'll tell you what, this man, Prodigy, he is rapid at the moment. Absolutely rapid, but it's win or bust for him, really. He's at the moment, he's normally spinning 10 times a race or having a great old race. Josh is on a charge. This could be a good one to watch. Yeah, I mean, given the fact that Josh had an awful race start, he went from P4 down to P10 in the first lap, and then after a lap or two, he then had a spin and dropped right back. And he's still in P5 and looking pretty strong for a P3 here, let's be honest. I mean, that, you know, given his sprint race and given that, what a race. What a race from Josh. Royal Rumble, 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. I know it's early doors, but driver of the day, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, I would give it to Josh McGill, but that race start and that spinning on the first lap, I think it's just, you know, that it's got to be marked against him, really. 7 laps to get it done, though. Absolutely. He's got time, but it will be a bit of a DRS train. It's easier to pick him off when they're not, you know, when the guy ahead doesn't have DRS. Has to be said. Chuckle now dropping off the back of Paul a little bit. Paul just extending his advantage as much as he can. DRS will bring Chuckle back into play for a little bit. Josh McGill very, very close now to the back of these guys. AJ gets past Phil. That is because Phil's in the pits. But Josh McGill now very close to Lee Craig. Is he going to go at the inside? He's going to have superior grip. Can he outrate the Alfa Romeo? You bet your bottom dollar he can. And through into P4 he goes. And that now makes his life an awful lot easier, because he's no longer in the DRS train. He will just have straight DRS. And the car in front will not. And this podium looking ever inevitable for the Mercedes driver. And what a race. What a charge. What pace. He absolutely would have been fighting for the race win had he been starting at the front or not had that spin. He doesn't have much battery though to use, it has to be said. Here we go. Yeah, absolutely. This is we will stay on board with these guys. because I think this is going to be a matter of a few corners probably. I'll tell you one thing actually, one thing I've noticed. Josh McGill's helmet design matches amazingly with that Mercedes. It's silver and that blue, or turquoise, and he's designed it beautifully. It blends in brilliant, as we're about to get a brilliant bird's eye view, and Chuck goes defensive. He knows he's in trouble here. Josh McGill is not going to use battery. He is going to save it. Is he going to go for it now? Is he going to make a move, or is he going to sit behind? Is he going to just save battery? I think he's just going to save and just gain up a few extra % of battery to try and make a move, and that makes absolute sense. But yeah, he's moulded that helmet with that Mercedes livery. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but it looks absolutely fantastic. You can't really see it, can you, there? He's done it beautifully. I hope that's intentional. If it is, 10 out of 10. I think that's genius. Absolutely genius. Could you put the HUD up so we can see the battery? I can do, yeah, absolutely. Telemetry, there we go. Josh McGill on 24. Chuck struggling on battery. Lee Craig also struggling on battery. We'll go to leaders as well as Paul. What has happened there? He must have made a mistake. We jumped back into them at just the right moment. Paul has dropped behind Chuckle. Both have a reasonable amount of battery, and that could be very costly for Paul. It must have been a mistake coming out of there, because that is not a position you overtake on, really. Wow. But we're going to go back with Josh McGill now, because I think he's... Oh, whoa! That was a little bit... I don't know whether it was a late move there from Chuck or what that was, but it was nearly into the pit wall from Josh McGill. He does get the move made. He does have DRS now down here, and he will inevitably be able to hold that. Chuck is in trouble a lot. Yeah, he is. He is. And I don't know whether that was a late move from Chuck, or whether it was an overreaction or an indecisiveness from Josh McGill. It could have been either. As Phils gets past Danny with a good move on DRS on those soft tyres. But yeah, that was nearly a race ender. It has to be said, it nearly was. No, Paul, man, come on, I need to get this win. Yeah, we've got a Paul fan in the chat. It'd be nice to see him. It'd be his first win for a while. Prodigy is going to, on brand new softs, kind of getting in the way a little bit. I mean, you know, he's every right to unlap himself, but I can tell you, as somebody that's been in the position of Paul, it is incredibly annoying when somebody's doing that. Yeah, it's just one of those, because absolutely Prodigy wants to get the best race time he can, but you just got to be a bit careful, and as Matty gets himself a time penalty, it won't matter, because Prodigy is quite a long way behind him. Paul still in the DRS, only a couple of laps to go still. He's saving battery, he's saved a bit more than Chuckle has now. Paul spooling up, ready for this race win. And I'll tell you something actually, Chuck has not dropped off the back of Josh McGill here. Absolutely fair play to him. He's done very, very well to stick to the back of Josh McGill on those aging hard tyres. But this is spoiling up to be a very exciting win. Who will win, Marcus? I'm going to go with Paul. I'm going to go with Paul. And I'm sorry, Chuckle, when you're watching this back. I don't know. Chuckle is a lot better at saving his battery, but look at it, 32%. Paul, 54%. He's a master, isn't he? I've raced Paul enough times. He's so difficult to get the better of in these situations. I mean, the only thing that may cost him is he's lost a bit of confidence from that half spin as Prof gets past Bugatti further back. Bugatti must have had a bit of an error there, because he's dropped way back past Prof as well. So I'm not sure. It's that 20% battery difference. Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. I mean, both of these have been hounding each other as much as they can. all race long they've been DRSing each other, one after the other. I'll see whether Chuckle's using this battery. Oh, he's gone a bit wide there. He has gone a bit wide. He is using it. He is using a little bit. He's going to have to use a bit more because Paul's very, very close here. But he decides to not go for it, and that's probably a wise decision. Josh is catching a bit there on the leaders, but I don't reckon there's enough laps. Absolutely, but you know, anything happens between these two. It looks like it's going to be... I mean, Paul's got the battery to give this a go, as long as Prodigy doesn't get in the way and distract him there, which he could well do, but he is very, very close, and I think this could be potentially the chance. Is it? No, it's not going to be just yet. Paul has used a lot of battery to get this close, however, and he's going to have another run on DRS at Chuckle, and he's going to be incredibly close. We are on lap 28 of 29, the penultimate lap. Paul goes to the outside. Chuckle defends the inside. Round the outside he goes. There is a little bit of contact, and they both get away with it, but I think Paul came off a little bit worse of the two of them, and Chuckle holds on to this position for now, and this is letting Josh McGill catch up. And the slightest issue is he retires in the pit. That seems a bit pointless, but anyway. But the slightest issue or mistake from these two could cost them, because Josh McGill will be on the back of them. He will wait till the last lap, I think. No, he decided to go for it on the penultimate lap. He decided to go for it, and he just couldn't quite make it stick. It looked like there was a bit of contact from the two of them as they went in. Neither has much battery left now. And here we go. This is a very, very important sector for Paul now if he wants a chance. Because there's going to be only one more attempt at that double DRS zone. I don't think he's going to be very close. He's gone in deep to the second to last corner, and I think that's going to cost him dearly. I really think that could cost him dearly because it's dropped him off a couple of tenths. It's not much, but it could be everything. And Chuckle may just hold on to this yet. Paul, oh, and that is it. Paul gets himself a time penalty for track limits. And that absolutely is it. And I'll tell you what, that's going to be close. 3.7 seconds is the gap to Josh. Paul could be in danger of losing P2 here. 3.4, that gap is going down. He just needs Chuckle to go. Oh, this is tense times on the final lap. Who is going to finish where? I think Chuckle's going to take the win here. I think that's inevitable. But Josh McGill, he's chasing that other podium spot down. He's got a podium as it is. He doesn't have much battery to use. Paul has a bit more. And there's a wobble there for Paul. He's pushing on the limit. He will have DRS, and that will help him tow him along a little bit. But he will have lost a bit of time to Josh through that little wobble. And through the last sector we go. I'm going to run with Chuckle because he is going to take the race victory here this evening. Through the penultimate corner he goes. Through the final corner he goes. He will take victory and get his championship back on track once again after Imola. They're going to go through. Chuckle takes the win at Australia. Paul Jones takes P2. Will Josh get it on the line? No. Yes, he will. Josh McGill takes P2 from Paul at the very last moment. Chuck takes P4. Lee P5. Looney Man will come home. A fantastic P6 from him. AJ P7. Pippo P8. Prof P9. Now he jumps to P7 after penalties. And I think Bugatti will probably round off this this points. I've lost my words. Paul, no. Oh, I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. Wow. Wow. Who's your driver of the day? I mean, because we've got to include the sprint as well. I mean, Prof, absolutely fantastic race from him. Do you know what? I don't know about you, Matthew. I think it's fair to split the driver of the day this evening. And I think the sprint race, we need to give it to Josh. And he did, and an amazing comeback in the race as well, but it was only because he dropped it in the race, so it was his own mistake. But then Prof, wow. Prof's had a great race. He did the overcut to perfection. I would say split it and have 2 driver of the days. Have Josh McGill for the sprint and Prof for the race. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? You've put Josh for me, mate, because of the sprint. Back to you. Yeah. I mean, you can't, you know, what a sprint he had. That was a Lewis Hamilton-esque sprint, that really was. It was insane. Absolutely insane. And even in the race, like I said, you know, he had an amazing comeback, but the problem is, he shouldn't have had a comeback in a race. It was the fact, it was his own mistakes that he had to make a comeback in a race. So, yeah. But what a race. Oh, to lose that P2. Oh, he's going to be gutted. He's going to be devastated. Chuckle will go home with the most amount of points from this evening's racing. Paul will come home P2. Josh McGill P3 overall. Chuck P4. That's a good points all from him. That's a great points all from Haas as well. And the fact he got P2 as well puts the cherry on the cake for me. I mean, Prof's going to kill me, but I can't argue. I can't argue. Josh McGill, driver of the day. What a race. What a race. Absolutely amazing stuff. There's the results of the sprint up for you. And yeah, P19 to P5. What a race. What a race from Josh. Paul Jones dominated that sprint. And just, I think he threw it away in the race. I think he threw it away. That penalty, a little bit of contact between them trying to get the overtake done, and just that drop into the back end. He's obviously let Chuckle go through when he was ahead. Yeah, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff, and I can't wait to see what that does for the championship. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate your comments. Thank you very much for joining and getting involved. It's been a pleasure, and I thoroughly enjoy every Monday joining the discussion with you. You never quite know what's going to happen, but thank you ever so much, everyone else who's tuned in as well. Appreciate you getting involved. Make sure you check out this YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And keep an eye out for the race highlights coming very soon. But until then, I bid you all good night. Until next week.